Catherine Knight, A Life That Turned Deadly. Catherine Knight was born in 1955 in rural New South Wales, Australia. Her childhood was far from peaceful. She grew up surrounded by violence, and those early experiences would shape the course of her life in troubling ways. As a young woman, Catherine developed a reputation for having a quick temper. She began working in a slaughterhouse, where she became known as a capable worker, skilled with knives and physically strong. But outside of work, her personal life was filled with unstable and often violent relationships. Her first marriage was to David Keelet. Their relationship was intense and quickly turned volatile. Arguments were frequent, and there were reports of threats and controlling behavior. After they separated, Catherine entered another relationship with David Saunders. This relationship followed a similar pattern, marked by conflict, fear, and emotional instability. They had children together, but the relationship ultimately ended, with Saunders later expressing concerns about her behavior. Over the years, several of Catherine's partners reported being threatened or harmed. Some described living in constant fear. Despite these warning signs, the pattern continued, and her relationships repeatedly escalated into dangerous territory. In the 1990s, Catherine began a relationship with John Price, a father of 3. At first, things seemed stable, but tensions soon grew. Friends and co-workers noticed signs of conflict, and Price himself reportedly became concerned about his safety. At one point, he even told colleagues that if he didn't show up to work, it could mean something was seriously wrong. In February 2000, after a series of arguments, the situation escalated into a tragic and shocking crime. Catherine attacked John Price in his home. The case quickly drew national attention due to the severity and disturbing nature of what occurred. When authorities arrived, they found a scene that investigators later described as one of the most confronting they had ever encountered. The details were so extreme that the case became one of the most infamous in Australian criminal history. In 2001, Catherine Knight pleaded guilty to the murder. She was sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole, the first woman in Australia to receive such a sentence. Today, she remains incarcerated. Her story is often cited as a stark example of how repeated patterns of violence, if left unchecked, can escalate over time. It also highlights the importance of recognizing warning signs in abusive relationships and seeking help before situations become irreversible.